President Trump launched a Twitter attack today on the Democratic leaders of Congress just hours before they were to join him at the White House for a bipartisan meeting on funding the government. The Democrats skipped the meeting and the president made a show of it. Here's Chief Congressional Correspondent Nancy Cordes.
Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi did not show up for our meeting today.
The president held an impromptu photo op today, flanked by two empty chairs, to signify his displeasure after the two top Democrats canceled on him.
They've been all talk and they've been no action. And now it's even worse. Now it's not even talk.
They were supposed to discuss government funding, which is set to run out next week. But the Democrats called it a waste of time after President Trump attacked them on Twitter and said, "I don't see a deal."
You're never going to stop the president from tweeting. So does this mean that going forward you're not planning to sit down with him?
All he has to do is say he's serious and wants to undergo a real negotiation, and we'll sit down with him.
Mr. Trump did get to put his deal-making to the test over lunch with Senate Republicans, where he sparred with senators who still have concerns about the party's tax plan. Wisconsin's Ron Johnson thinks the tax cuts favor corporations at the expense of small businesses.
I thought it was a fine and dandy exchange. I didn't feel threatened at all.
Tennessee's Bob Corker worries about what the $1.5 trillion plan would do to the deficit.
So I'm just trying to ensure that we put in place a policy that's great for future generations.
So Republican leaders are furiously making changes.
Think of sitting there with a Rubik's Cube, trying to get to 50.
The bill did clear a logistical hurdle today.
The ayes are 12.
Passing out of the Budget Committee over the objections of protesters and Democrats.
This legislation is a disastrous and unfair piece of legislation which gives huge tax breaks to the people who need it the least.
GOP leaders are hoping to hold a vote on the Senate tax bill this week, but they can't do that, Anthony, until they know that they've won over most of the 10 or so Senate Republican holdouts.
Nancy, you have new information tonight also about Michigan Congressman John Conyers, who's facing allegations of sexual misconduct. What can you tell us?
That's right. We know that he has been meeting this afternoon and this evening with some of his fellow members of the Congressional Black Caucus to discuss whether he should resign over these allegations by former staffers of unwanted sexual advances. One top Democrat, James Clyburn, told us that it is his understanding that a fifth accuser has come forward. We still haven't heard, Anthony, from Conyers himself about what he plans to do.
Nancy Cordes at the Capitol. Thanks.